The first Republican president once said, "While the people retain their virtue and their vigilance, no administration by any extreme of wickedness or folly can seriously injure the government in the short space of 4 years." If Mr. Lincoln could see what's happened in the last 3.5 years, he might hedge a little on that statement. My fellow citizens of this great nation, the major issue of this campaign is the direct political, personal, and moral responsibility in the White House and in the Congress for this unprecedented calamity which has befallen us. When we deprive people of what they've earned or take away their jobs, we destroy their dignity and undermine their families. We can't support families unless there are jobs, and we can't have jobs unless the people have both money to invest and the faith to invest it. These are concepts that stem from an economic system that for more than 200 years has helped us master a continent, create a previously undreamed of prosperity for our people, and has fed millions of others around the globe. And that system will continue to serve us in the future if our government will stop ignoring the basic values on which it was built and stop betraying the trust and goodwill of the American workers who keep it going. First, we must overcome something the present administration has cooked up, a new and altogether indigestible economic stew. 1 part inflation, 1 part high unemployment, 1 part recession, 1 part runaway taxes, 1 part deficit spending. It's an economic stew that has turned the national stomach. It is time to check and reverse the growth of government, which shows signs of having grown beyond the consent of the governed. We do not have inflation because we've lived too well. The head of a government which has utterly refused to live within its means dares to point the finger of blame at business and labor, both of which have been engaged in a losing struggle, just trying to stay even. High taxes, we are told, are somehow good for us, as if when government spends our money it isn't inflationary, but when we spend it, it is. Our problems are both acute and chronic, yet all we hear from those in positions of leadership are the same tired proposals for more government tinkering, more meddling, and more control, all of which led us to this sorry state in the first place. Can anyone look at the record of this administration and say, well done? Can anyone compare the state of our economy when the present administration took office with where we are today and say, keep up the good work? No, we've had enough. We must have the clarity of vision to see the difference between what is essential and what is merely desirable, and then the courage to bring our government back under control. I believe it is clear our federal government is overgrown and overweight. Indeed, it is time our government should go on a diet.
No government ever voluntarily reduces itself in size, so government programs once launched never disappear. Actually, a government bureau is the nearest thing to eternal life we'll ever see on this earth.
We will remind them that government programs exist at the sufferance of the American taxpayer and are paid for with money earned by working men and women, and programs that represent a waste of their money, a theft from their pocketbooks, must have that waste eliminated or that program must go. We are a nation that has a government, not the other way around.
And this idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people, is still the newest and the most unique idea in all the long history of man's relation to man. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
Our government has no power except that granted it by the people. All of us need to be reminded that the federal government did not create the states. The states created the federal government. I do not believe in a fate that will fall on us no matter what we do. I do believe in a fate that will fall on us if we do nothing.
Somewhere a perversion has taken place. Our natural unalienable rights are now considered to be a dispensation of government. And freedom has never been so fragile, so close to slipping from our grasp as it is at this moment.
We, as Americans, have the capacity now, as we've had in the past, to do whatever needs to be done to preserve this last and greatest bastion of freedom. In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem. This president said, "Trust me." And a lot of people did. And now many of those people are out of work.